Okay, I'm going to share my screen again. And we're back. This is video 3. Luckily, video 2 wasn't cut off also. And we're talking about the concept of regular versus irregular. And we looked at that concept in English. How do you pluralize a noun? A regular noun, you just add an S, or depending, the ending is SH, CH, S, Z. I can't think of a word that ends in Z. I can think of a couple words that end in, what is it? ZE, but Z by itself, no. Oh, and sometimes with Y, depending on what comes before the Y, and that Y is replaced by an I and add ES. These are all rules that you have to watch out for. At first you have to memorize them, then you have to watch out for them, right? But they're regular. Regular means it follows the rule. But when you have child, for example, or foot, for example, or sheep, for example, or fish, for example, these are all irregular, and you don't know how the difference between the singular versus the plural until either you look it up in a dictionary, someone tells you, you're taught in school, because you can't guess it because it's irregular. How the language decided to pluralize those words, you have to learn. Well, the same thing in Spanish and the same thing with verbs. So let me just tell you quickly. In Spanish, you have 3 types of verbs, and it depends on the ending. You have verbs that end in AR, verbs that end in ER, and verbs that end in IR. The majority of verbs in Spanish end in AR, right? Did I say that right? AR, ER, IR, just to make sure. Okay. All right, the majority of verbs end in AR, and we're talking about the present indicative or the simple present tense. And that's when you talk about what you normally do every day. But in Spanish, you can also use that when you're talking about what you're doing at the moment. In English, not so much, but in Spanish, you can, right? So very easy to teach, because here's the rule. Let me show you. So you have the verb hablar or tomar. Okay. So let's say you have the verb hablar, which means to talk. I have no idea why that just turned red on me, but it doesn't matter. And so it's very easy to teach. First, if you're going to be talking about yo, which is I, tú, which is you, él, ella, usted, él, ella, he, she, and usted is a formal type of a you. Then nosotros, which is we. Now I write all this down, right? It's not important that you know all that, but here's how here is how all regular verbs that end in AR in the present indicative, how they end. Okay, so you remove the AR, so you have this part of the verb to work with. I don't know why that keeps turning red. This is the part of the verb you work with, right here. And the ending will tell you the person. So you have hablo, hablas. This is two. This is the for you, informal. Then you have él, which is he, ella, which is she, and usted, which is a more formal type of you. Habla. Then you have the nosotros, which is the we. You have the amos. Then you have the they. Now, they in Spanish can be they, masculine or mixed group. They can be all feminine. And then you have the you. Now, you in Spanish can be plural also, and it's hablan. So let me highlight the endings for you. Put it in red. Yeah, see, it wants to tell me that it's spelled wrong. I know it's spelled wrong. It's spelled wrong in English. That's what the computer wants me to know. And I know that because this is in English. Okay. I know you spelled wrong. I know. Come on. There we go. Here. So we have the endings O for I, as for tú, a for él, ella, usted, amos for nosotros, y and for, what is it? Ellos, ellas, y ustedes. And the same thing with the ER verbs, okay? So you have comer, you write it. Now let me put it down here. It's too complicated. Let me put it down here. So you have the verb, I know it's spelled wrong. You have the verb comer. Then you have, I don't know why that goes back to red. Somebody who knows computers would know, but I am not a computer geek. So I don't know. Let me put that back, okay. There we go, put it, so it's como, comes, como, come. That is not come, by the way, that's come. Comemos. Come. Okay. So here are the endings. Es, o, es, a, hemos, and N. Okay. And the same thing with the IR verb. The only difference is the IR verb. It's like the ER verb except here, except for the nosotros. Okay. So that follows. So I can give you any AR verb in Spanish. You have no idea what it means, but you can conjugate it in the present indicative. I can give you any ER verb and you have no idea what it means, but you can conjugate it in the present indicative. But if I give you, for example, the verb estar, back to red. If I give you the verb estar, well, let me just leave it red. If I give you the verb estar, you can't conjugate, you don't know how to conjugate that verb because it's irregular. It does not follow the rule. If I give you the verb ser, you can't conjugate that verb. Why? Because it doesn't follow the rule. So the AR verb rule for the verb estar doesn't fit in any, almost in any tense. Just one or two tenses maybe. And the ER verb rule for the verb ser doesn't fit. Why? Because it's irregular. And that's a concept that you have to understand. It's not important how you conjugate it, okay? But it doesn't follow the rule. Estar doesn't follow the rule for hablar, and ser does not follow the rule for estar. Right? Ser is very irregular. Estar, yeah, some parts are regular. Well, it's irregular though. Okay. So what does that mean? When a verb is regular, what I teach, right, or what you learn, better say, instead of what I teach, what hopefully I'm trying to help you to learn is the rule. And then once you know that rule, once you have that rule firmly planted in your head, in your brain, I can give you any word. And even if you have no idea what that word means, you can plug it into the rule and do it correctly. You can't translate it, but at least you're able to structure it. Okay. If, on the other hand, I give you a word that does not plug, which does not plug into the rule, what you have to memorize is that word itself and how it deviates, how it does not follow the rule. And that's a very important concept. We're not even talking about meaning. We're just talking about rules here and how you look at a word that is regular versus a word that is irregular. And these are concepts that your language teacher should have taught you or should be teaching you now, right? Or should make sure that you understand. Like parts of speech, it's very important, especially if you're talking about, I don't know any Asian languages. I want to learn Mandarin. I do. I want to learn Mandarin, and maybe one day I'll get my wish. If I could, go to China and study for a year, don't know. Okay, I don't know. But if I could wish for something or go to another Chinese speaking country, I guess it would be either Mandarin or Cantonese. Right? So I'm not sure this applies to non-Western languages, but in Western languages, I do know that parts of speech is very important. And what's the parts of speech? The most important part, the verb. Then you have the noun. Then you have the pronoun. Then you have the adjective. You have the adverb. You have the preposition, right? Conjunction. I always forget that conjunction. Conjunction and the interjection. All words in our language, one of these things. It's either a verb, a noun, a pronoun, an adjective, an adverb, a preposition, a conjunction, or it's an interjection. Interjection is, oh my God, no, that's an interjection. Okay, it's either one of those 8 things. Those concepts are very important that you understand. So you understand what you're looking at. Especially in a language such as English, where one word can fulfill, let's say, 4 of those functions. And you have to know, is that word a noun in that sentence? Is it a verb in that sentence? Is it an adverb in that sentence? Is it an adjective in that sentence? Because sometimes that determines meaning, and that determines where you place the word. Spanish, not so much. French, I don't think so. Not so much. But English, most definitely. So these are concepts that you must learn, and your guide or your teacher should help you to understand that. So learning another language is not Greek. Get it? Not Greek, another language. So this video is going a little bit long, So when we come back, I think I would like to talk about cognates, and how they can help you learn another language. Well, depending on the language. So this is Corella Fickler McLean. Welcome, WYLCONE, welcome.com. Please visit my videos. Please share my videos. Come back. I have a lot of videos, and I will have a lot of videos on all different apps. Excuse me, people. I don't know if you heard that or not. That was just a beep, a very long beep. So excuse me. So I'm going to say, stop sharing my screen. And I'm going to say thank you very much. And share my videos and subscribe. Thank you very much. Bye.